Right. Hiya.
Hiya.
You all right?
Yeah, just nearly leaned back there. I know how much you hate that. I know how much you hate to relax.
You've a bit more space now.
I do, yeah.
Because we've set the cameras up a bit different. I'm sorry that it keeps changing every week.
Yeah. And unfortunately, you're going to have to deal with the old version for another couple of weeks, so this will mean nothing to you.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, we're just trying to figure this.
We've moved to a new corner.
Yes, we did that last week.
Yeah.
And then...
we missed a week.
We missed a week. Yeah. Well, sorry. All will become apparent. But then... Yeah, we're going to buy a new curtain so that it's all nice and clean and that there isn't like two colours, which maybe I'm the only one that notices that, but just a little
You certainly make an awful fuss about it.
Just a little bit of a... That's fine. We're probably going to buy new coasters.
That coasters are on the list.
Coasters
at the moment,
are on the
we're
list.
just using a bit of...
Cleaner mic stands so that there's not a big fucking huge microphone stand in the mix. We're going to
get an unpaid intern.
Yeah, please. Application, our email is open. Send your CVs written on a napkin to...
Headshots not required, but encouraged.
Yeah, couldn't have anyone sexier than us running around.
Yeah,
which rules out most people.
Yeah.
But probably includes most people that would be able to do this job anyway, to be fair. You know?
It's a catch-22.
And we're going to get the same
Can
chair.
you tell I didn't finish that book?
Yeah, we're going to get matching chairs so that it can really help mix inferiority complex.
Well, I mean, you took my own chair from me and just said no. It's like the way you always insist on being input one.
I do. For no reason other than you let it happen. And I just think it's hilarious that you're just like, okay.
I know what you're doing. You're pivoting into host mode and I'm sidekick. I know that's your end game.
Well, it's just that whenever I release my own brand of podcast, people will be like, oh, well, that makes sense.
He's cut off he's cut the fat, you know.
You'll notice each week now, just like Mick's angle will just slightly just involve a bit more of me as well. So, it is nice that we have another view of Nathan somehow as well.
Start referring to me just as Deadwood McCullough. That sounds like a pretty cool nickname. Then eventually I'll realise what it meant.
That'd be a really good artist name if you hadn't already settled on a good one, you know. Deadwood McCullough.
But then you run the risk then of you open yourself up to all manner of sort of. That's
true.
You become Deadwood.
But
get rid of the Deadwood.
But if you've owned it already,
who the fuck is listening to Deadwood?
Did you ever see Deadwood? It was on Sky. But yeah, does my hair still look Jimmy Neutron-esque?
It's less now.
Is it cammed? Yeah. I found a new way to...
I just stop asking that question of people.
What's that?
Like,
what do you do?
What does my hair look like? Because I found that I never liked the answer.
Yeah. It looks...
It was never thick and luscious.
Just say thick and luscious.
More or less the same as when I saw you last is also a barbed one. What do you mean more or less?
Notably unkept. I've found a happy medium between not doing anything and not caring about what my hair looks like to like it looking presentable, but it doesn't take me too long now. So I have like a routine now, which you laugh at. Which is just what this is all about.
Why would I laugh at your routine?
Because I would laugh at it if you told me you did this, to be fair.
I'll tell you my routine after if you want. Or
okay. Well, let's swap hair routines. That's what we give to people what they want. Let's give these folks...
We're pivoting to MUA artists. MUAs. Aye, that's it.
Let's give these people exactly what they've always been wanting from the two of us. The secret to our hair success. It's been 3 years. We've been holding out. But we know what you want, and the answer is no. So when I step out of the shower, I have literally like the most. So I used to try like loads of various. There's actually still in my bathroom like one of those little tins of like, you know, molding paste or whatever that I bought. Like I think the first month I moved here. And I still haven't finished it, which will tell you how little I would ever... It was just so you'd end up with like bits in your hair.
Yeah.
It looks fucking terrible. But I have too much hair. Sorry, humble brag. But so I found I found. Here's the key.
Too much hair.
I'm always cutting it off and all. I
don't
know if anybody else does that.
Check your privilege. Check your fucking privilege.
Point of personal privilege. But yeah, so I get out of the shower. Don't dry the hair. I then
You're asking for a cold. You're literally
no wait.
begging to get
I
sick.
eventually dry the hair. I'm just saying I don't dry it with the towel, right? And so what I do is I get a load of just like Brill cream essentially. It's not actually Brill cream, but it's like squirty, liquidy gel of some sort. And I run my hands under the tap a little bit with that in my hand, even though I know my hair's already wet, but it's just more so that my hands just kind of, and then I literally just like, as if I was shampooing my head, just cover it in that, and then I just use a hairdryer and just in no particular direction, and then within about a half an hour it'll just look like this.
Well, I think it's looking well.
Thank
It's
you.
working for you.
Thank you.
I think
cheers.
that is a great routine.
And I don't have to like stand in front of a mirror and worry about it.
And
I
tell
just
me-
know that if I keep the hairdryer pointing this direction generally, it'll all work out.
Do you approach it ritualistically, as in like, this is a little time for myself of a bit of pampering?
Yeah, I mean, I don't go mad. Like I wouldn't have like a wild fucking face care routine, or I don't like moisturize or anything like that, which I probably should. We all probably should.
It's
I do
funny
use talc though.
It's talc.
Yes.
What are you weighing?
No, because I well, like, what are you, just like having swampy nuts? What are you?
I said that.
Are you afraid of comfort?
I love talc. I don't know why I reacted so
The
objectionably.
only thing I
to
hate
that.
is like the kind of aerosol nature of like having a load of it in the air around you, and it's apparently very bad for you.
Well,
But anyway,
it's
I wanna
funny
know
that
what you- I wanna know what
this
you do.
regime routine. I guess you could say regime routine. I'm gonna go with regime.
Regime makes it sound a bit more totalitarian.
That's what I was saying. This more like, so I always have a bit of trouble figuring out what the fuck to do with my hair. As you see, I was blessed / cursed with curly hair, because I think blessed isn't, you get away with a lot more devilment with curly hair. I think
I think so.
people take you less seriously though. That's the flip side.
That's how Ted Bundy got away with it for so long. They were like, drug me, yeah.
But but it's a fucking nightmare to manage, especially when it's thicker in other places. Now, I mean around the sides, Nathan.
Oh, you don't. Right, okay.
And it's just getting very difficult. And when it's growing out, if it's growing at certain lengths, it's unmanageable. But
Okay.
I thought it looked good today. Now I've had a shower since
I think it does look good.
Well, I've had a shower since, but I woke up this morning.
Don't ban, I don't know. It's been a while, right? As for years now since we started doing that mix, I've noticed has been careful to either quickly say and carry on a sentence, or he has completely removed the phrase "I woke up this morning" from
I started sleeping in just to avoid it. So
Muddy Waters didn't wake up in the afternoon, sir. No, he did not.
you have to get up pretty late to take the piss out of me.
Sorry, you woke up this morning. No blues riff.
And I thought to myself,
I'm so pleased that happened.
I was like, you know what? I'll put a bit of moisturizer on my face as well.
Okay.
And put the moisturizer, and then I just put it through my hair, and then I was like, God, my hair looks really good. I was like, what's working? What's different? Then I realized I'd put the
Moisturizer in your hair.
the face moisturizer in the hair, so I think I might just start doing that.
Okay.
That's not what's in it now.
Just
It's some
trying
coconutty, creamy stuff that's in it now.
Okay.
I think it's something coconutty, not coconut oil though,
Okay.
because that is the thing that people do.
Is that
Argan oil,
good?
maybe.
I couldn't. I wouldn't be no.
God, I'm gonna ring Orla. She's trying her best here.
I remember in school getting mocked for about 2 days because when I was in primary school, because my mum had told me, which I believe still to be true. So eggs are really good for your hair. Apparently so.
like eating them.
No. So apparently, and you can look this up. I'm not saying I've done this. I'm just saying that I heard
I know that people who have dogs sometimes give their dog an egg
for the coat.
for the coat.
Yeah,
It's kinda
yeah.
the same
So my
thing.
mom was trying to manage her own coat in a way, I suppose. But and so apparently it's a thing you can do with like so the distinction I think is important. Like proper mayonnaise, like if you make your own mayonnaise, which is essentially just egg and oil and some vinegar or whatever the fuck it goes into it. But if you put that in your hair, it's apparently very good for your hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously the nuance was lost on, the local bully.
Don't do it on a hot day.
Yeah. You don't walk around with it you don't keep it in your hair. You wash it out like shampoo or whatever, or conditioner or whatever the fuck. But so I remember thinking this was a kind of an interesting factoid,
I'm gonna wow the kids in the playground with this. I'm gonna be the number one cool kid.
I've figured out how to end the relentless bullying that's been taking place. I'm gonna tell them about my mayonnaise and the hair trick. I can't see that backfiring on me.
They're all gonna look so good, and I'll be the one they'll be thanking.
I just think I'm walking into school, and they're like, Nathan, I tried it out. Great tip, brother. And you're like, no problem, pal. And you're like, ladies, please form a line. But yeah, and so
eating your egg salad sandwich.
Yeah, and then the theme music just comes in, and they're like, just another day, and just dress off, But instead, what happened was I began telling them I got as far as mayonnaise. And was left with no opportunity to explain the rest of the remedy. And I essentially just turned into I remember telling a guy in my class called, what was it? Was his name? I think his name was David. I think, I know what the person I'm thinking of his name was, but it was one of three people. I can't remember which one it was, but
I don't think it matters.
Yeah, but no, I can really see the moment in my head, but I haven't spoken about this since therapy, but and he just it was almost as if he was just just hold that thought. I need to tell everyone. Well, the rest of what you have to tell me is unimportant because this will do. And it was just like, hey, everyone, get a load of this guy. And then just trying to explain to my fellow 9-year-olds that I was like, no, I didn't finish what I was saying. And they were like, why don't you just buy shampoo? What's wrong with you? I was just like,
you're so lucky.
Why do I tell people anything?
You were this close to getting nicknamed mayonnaise or mayonnaise head.
Well, they probably
or egghead.
I was going to say egghead, yeah, but then they would have been like,
sometimes the stupider, the brutaler. Just mayonnaise. Imagine you were just known as Mayonnaise O'Regan.
Just mayo.
Mayo O'Regan.
Just mayo. All right, mayo.
Here comes mayo.
Yeah, fuck's sake. But yeah.
But look at you now, wearing a vest.
Yeah, albeit slightly bashedly.
Can I tell you, it looks good.
Does it? I think so. There's like a spot here, which I was kind of worried about.
You're rocking it. I had a
doesn't do much for my cleavage.
I had a sartorial dilemma myself before coming out here because I ordered.
Were you like, is 8 weeks in a row too much to be wearing Orla's clothes? Was that the dilemma, Mick? Did you stand in front of the mirror and go, no, the hair looks good, but I think it's time to buy my own clothes?
Actually, this was, I was like, I can't wear this jacket again. And I had a different outfit on, right? So,
but you decided against it?
Which I decided against. I was like, I'm going to just have to take the flak. I'm going to have to show up in this jacket again. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. I pretty convinced the jacket. I was like, you know what? I want to feel comfortable. I like feeling comfortable.
Don't fix it if it ain't broke.
This is a good jacket. It's nice. It's just because it's Orla's and I always wear it. Is that some sort of problem?
The tablecloth's always the same. Yeah, no one ever gives it shit.
A wee glimpse into marriage counselling, pre-marriage counselling. That's something people do, isn't it?
Yeah, well, apparently a lot of priests make you do that if you get married.
No priest near us, tell you that much.
So we've learned.
Anyway, so I got 2 pairs of trousers from Depop that I'm quite fond of.
I still haven't used that.
But they're, I'll admit, one pair especially are kind of bordering, they could be pajamas.
Okay, which is always good.
The other pair are a bit more, they're still a little bit out there. They're a bit little funky, but they're, you could definitely pass them off as outdoors wear. And I was like, if I go in wearing these will be a talking point. Might get a bit of patter out of them. I'll figure out how I truly feel about them in the moment.
Oh, you certainly find out how I feel about it.
And thus we'll find out
how much you can take, essentially. You know what I mean? It's like, no, what I need you to do is tell me every thought you have about these, and I'll see how upset I feel about learning these things about myself.
And I'm pretty confident I'll come away with feeling the exact same about the trousers. But then I was like, it was very wet outside, and I was like, these are quite the elastic on these waists, because they're elasticated, kind of loose fabric.
Yeah.
The sort you might wear to a festival.
Okay. Yes. So harem pants.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why didn't you?
So I didn't because
You've come here wearing harem pants.
Yeah,
no, you didn't.
but I was like, these will be falling down around my hole as we're maneuvering about the studio, getting set up, and that's going to be a nuisance. And I was like, plus it's raining.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just going to have to go in the bog standard jacket and take the
go for the classic.
The classic.
The classic look. It's hard to beat.
So I think next time we record, I'm going to bring the trousers. I'll debut the trousers and see what we see what we think of them. That's
nobody can see them anyway.
I just had a moment going, that's what this podcast is now.
Do you know what we should do for...
We don't even introduce ourselves.
Yeah,
we don't even say the name of the podcast.
That's Mick. I'm Nathan. Mad Notions. How are you?
We're 20 minutes in.
There'll be a sign here soon.
We're 20 minutes in.
I think it's golden content so far. It's hard to argue with. On close, I would like to thank once again, which I didn't realise was becoming such a thing, but I basically realised that like any decent jacket I have, I've not bought. And nearly exclusively have all been things that I went round to Garrett's house and he's been like, I'm throwing this away. Do you want this? I'm turning into you.
I get given a lot of clothes.
Yeah, and they're good. Like I'm like, why are you throwing this away? And then I'm like, shut up, Nathan. This is a good jacket. But one of them was like a maybe just above knee length brown leather jacket, which I have in the car. Actually, I'll show you. I think you'd be a fan of it. But see, Margaret, nothing gets past her. Like I walked in, so I told her like she was like, where are you? I was like, oh. I'm gonna fucking nip into Garrett's on the way home here. He's got this jacket that he was gonna be thrown away that I'm just gonna grab on the way home. She was like, right, okay, no worries. And then I came back from like I think I wasn't wearing it the night I got it. Like I didn't put it on to leave the house, or whatever, to leave Garrett's house with it. Like so, it just put on in the back seat. But then I had a gig and it was raining. I was like, that'll do. Leather jacket. There'll be no fucking water on me, sir. And then came
coming
back.
in like a big cool wet cuddle.
There's the episode title. But I just came in wearing it and just like genuinely like forgot that I had it on, because I famously don't normally care what I'm wearing. But but this is exactly why I don't try anything adventurous with my clothes, because I walked in and Margaret just straight away was like, "The fuck's that?" I was like, "This is the jacket that Gareth was giving me," and she was like, "No, it's cool. Like, I mean, if you want to wear it." I was just like, why am I sensing that there's some pushback against this jacket? She's like, I wouldn't wear it. Like, I was like, well, it's not for you. And she's like, I'd prefer if you didn't wear it. But
I can't figure out.
She was far less nuanced about it than that, I would like to say as well. But
ever since Orla started this bloody
dickhead,
or ever since Orla started this bloody counselling course, she's become very
past remarkable.
Not past remarkable, no. She's just like,
she's reading you all the time.
She's operating on a higher plane now of social interactions. Do you know what I mean? So she's
coming home to your stupid shit,
and she's just. It's like she just leveled up, and she's like immediate. Like she's just found her calling a wee bit, but it's like her insight into the human psyche has been leveled up.
Well, you've been, in the same way that like Margaret would have tried to learn how to do injections on me when she was going through her nursing degree, and I had to get a couple of needles jabbed into the arm the odd time. Not very much, to be fair. I think it was only actually once. But you've become the Orla's pincushion for her proverbial needles.
I have to say, not that she's,
and you'd be like a good case study too, I think.
I have to say, Orla is never Orla is not impatient or like ever really quick to anger or be combative or anything like that. She's always just really cool. But now that she started this counselling course, I swear to God, feels like she's just like, she understands. It's like she understands everybody a little bit more. She's become even more empathetic, but it's like I feel like I'm being read the whole time now. I'm like,
that must be.
I'm like, I'm being played constantly, because I was like, Orla, do you like these trousers? And she was like, yeah, I know they're making you happy. I'm like, that wasn't the affirmative. There was a nuance to that answer.
I like the effect they have on your happiness. Yeah, I wish Margaret maybe thought like that sometimes. Just let me have something, No, not at all. Maybe Margaret needs to add yet another fucking degree to her belt just so she'd be a bit sounder to me the odd time.
It is cool though seeing Orla, like, she's really taken to the counselling. Like,
I'm sure she would, man.
It's amazing. Like, she's so happy.
With what limited experience I have with counselling myself, I would say she would be very good at it for sure. She's very she can be a very empathetic person.
Yeah.
Which is I'm sure a very important trait when you're going into
the amount of my mates who have like who continue to seek like what's the word, like just Orla's perspective on things, especially when it comes to like if it's relationship troubles and stuff. It's really funny. It's like, how do you manage with them? What do I need to do?
I became an impromptu agony aunt of sort at a gig the other night, randomly enough, actually, for someone's relationship troubles. Hilarious enough how I ended up there in the first place. So long story short, I was playing in a bar in the Cathedral Quarter. And there was a table right. It wasn't my usual bar in the Cathedral Quarter. Was another one. Very nice place. Actually, I really enjoyed playing there. But and there was a table right by me. And it was quite sad actually. So this guy came in with his girlfriend. She was gorgeous girl. Seemed really nice, like just very pleasant. She seemed like just like very. I don't know what the best way to just. I don't know. She just gave off like she was a kind person, right? Mm-hmm. He did not give off those vibes. They were probably like late 20s, early 30s, maybe. Well, he certainly was about that age anyway. I don't know. Anyway, getting lost in the weeds already here. But he was about 6'2". But he, right off the bat, was giving off strong like, I'm on coke vibes. I'm on a lot of coke vibes. Well, I say vibes. He sold coke to someone in front of me, so he definitely had some anyway. But he just had that like frantic asshole energy, which, yeah. Anyway, so he was sitting with this girl, and they were literally like maybe just twice the distance away from me as you are now. Like they were the closest people to me, and I could hear them chatting, and he was just talking to her like a fucking absolute cunt. Like it was like so the guy he sold coke to, he ended up inviting them to join his table, and so they did, and kind of in that kind of sweet naive way that in any fictional series you've ever seen about drug dealers, they were like, of course we'll take your free offers of everything. How could this possibly end up coming back into my life in any way? It's not like I owe you this or anything, is it? So they just happily sat there all night. But then your man decided like he was in like party mode, but it didn't seem like his girlfriend was. It seemed like initially she just wanted. I'm reading an awful lot into this, but just the vibe I was getting is that like they were out for like a kind of a date night, and then he was turning it into something that it wasn't meant to be. It was a Sunday night, like, you know what I mean? It was just like it was fairly quiet.
Selling coke on date night.
Oh yeah, like straight into it. Like, but so then he became very vocal, and it seemed very important to him to make clear to everybody within a fucking mile radius of him, with the fucking volume of him, but certainly the people at his table, how just like money was no option. He was constantly saying that, like offering to buy them drinks, and he was like, money's no option. It's no fucking whatever you want. What do you want to do tonight? I fucking take you anywhere. What do you want? All this kind of stuff, and they were just like, yeah, well, I'll take a very expensive drink, please. And they were like, me too. And so she was drinking like a rosé or something, and he kept. When she arrived, she was drinking rosé. When those people joined, he basically decided she wasn't drinking rosé anymore, and he was like, we're partying, and if you're out with me, you're partying, and if you're not partying, you're not out with me, is what he said to her at one point. And she was just like, all right, well, and she was like, well, what will I drink then? And he just was like, I'll think of something, and went up to the bar, just decided, because
I'm the coolest guy in town.
I'm so cool. But anyway, how it involved me then though was that
I took some of his cocaine.
I took some of the coke. I didn't realize he was going to need
The
money.
guy that joined their date was me.
Mistakes were made. But so before those people had even joined his table, he walked in. To be fair, the table nearest me was the only one free. So they sat right there. He was like always in the way that somebody on coke only would be in the kind of environment where someone's singing Billy Joel tunes, you know, and was like, fucking yes, just like hands up in the air, you know, one of those lads that just turns everything into a football match, just like one of those boys. Completely different energy to his girlfriend or date or whoever she was to him. But so I was in the middle of playing a request for someone, and then there was no like barrier to get to me. It was outdoors, and he walked just right up next to me, like while I was playing, and just in my ear was like, "Mate, play it, take it easy, mate, play it, take it easy." And I tried once to be like, "Yeah, I'm just singing a song here. If you could sit back down," but he kept going, and so just like down the mic, I just was just like, "What? How do you see this going, man? Like, I'm currently playing a request for somebody else." I was like, "Which you wouldn't know because you just arrived." I was like, "But, you know, do you think I'm not going to come up for air between songs? Like, there'll be an opportunity." I was like, "Also, you're the closest person to me, and all these other people have had no problem getting their request to me from further away than you are. So just wait, and you definitely need to sit back down, and you definitely don't need to come this close to me again." And he was like, "All right, well, fucking fair enough." I sat down. It didn't obviously didn't stop him coming up to me in the same way various more times, but anyway, once those people had joined his table, he decided that he had to sing. He was like, "I need to be up there for damn sure," and so came up to me.
This guy's having the night of his life, it sounds like.
100%. No one else is around him, like, you know. Well, the new people that obviously don't know him long enough to know that he's clearly a fucking dickhead. Even though, I mean, I obviously know him as long as they do at this point, and I'm getting all the correct signs to point to dickhead. But I guess free coke will blind any man if you're looking for it, you know.
Especially if you throw it in his eyes.
Yeah. Very good, very good. But so he comes up, begins to try and come very close to me again, and I was tuning my guitar, and I just put my hand out and was like, "That's close enough, that's fine. What's the problem? What do you want?" And he was like, he's like, "Mate, he's like, you need to hear me." That's exactly what he's like. "You need to hear me." He was like, "Can you let me sing?" I was like, and I just went, "Absolutely not. No way." I was like, "Sit down." And he was like, now, up until that point, of course, which is always how this goes, best mate. "Mate, do this. Mate, would you play this?"
Yeah.
All this, you know, it's, you know. And so I was like, "No." I was like, "You can't." I was like, "Just to be clear, no one can. It's not just you." I was like, "But that's not how this works." And I was like, and also, and I feel like I've said this a few times now because people keep asking this question, but it still blows me that it's not in people's fucking heads. But like, you know, you can't come and put your mouth really close to the thing that I have to put my mouth really close to because there's still this thing happening, and like, obviously not. Like, and then he was like, "Oh, are you one of those people?" I was like, "One of those people that is worried that I might catch something from a complete stranger?" Yes. Yes, that I'm one of those people, I guess. Then that's who I am then. And then he was like,
Knew it.
I knew it just by looking at you and your answer to my questions. And so then he was like, "Mate, come on." Like, he was like, I just need like 2 minutes. I was like, "Man, it's just not happening." I was like, "This doesn't need to be a thing. You don't need to take this personally." I was like, "Just sit down and enjoy yourself. You've got a fucking table full of people here that you're having to crack with. Continue to do that and let me do my job. That's all you need to do." I was like, "But no matter what you say here, I don't know this will not go how you think it's going to go. You can't convince me to get up and sing because I'm not going to allow it." And he was like, "You're just being fucking worried about being fucking shown up." He's like, "I'm a fucking better singer than you." And I was just like, "Mate," and I was getting really fucking annoyed at this point. I was like, "Mate, to be honest," I was like, "I can absolutely tell looking at you, you're definitely not." But I was like, "But even if that was the case, it's not the point." I was like, "You just can't get up." And then he was kind of like starting to like walk a bit closer to me, like as he was trying to fucking square up and all. And I was like, "Mate, why don't you just let me do my job?" And I was like, and then you can sit and enjoy your night. Because I was like, otherwise I'm gonna have to call the bouncers and they're gonna have to do their job and fuck you out of the bar, and then that's the end of it. I was like, no, whatever you think you can fucking do to me before they get here is your own business.
God, you're turning me on here.
But I was like, just sit down, man. Just sit down. Like, you're making this into an issue, and it just doesn't need to be this way. So eventually he fucking sat down. But of course then, you know, I was the worst cunt in the world then, and he was calling me all sorts of homosexual slurs, and whatever else, whatever fiends of the day he could think of, like, which is hilarious because he was definitely a Westie himself, but whatever. But and I was just like, oh, whatever. I just ignored it. But so then, this is such a long-winded way to get to how I started this, but I just felt like this was an interesting story as well. And Joe was really heartbreaking. His girl, so whenever he went, because he was then like calling me a cunt every 2 seconds and just making a big deal about it and whatever. Every time he went to go to the bar to order drinks for everyone, which he insisted on being the only person who would pay for stuff, just to assert his male excellence. Mm-hmm.
Which is, we all know, it's a tried and tested way to do it.
Yeah, crush him with the wallet. But yeah, every time he did that, which I thought was so sad in itself, his girlfriend felt the need to like lean over to me and just be like, I actually think you're really good. Don't worry about him. Like she was like, he's just a bit angry sometimes. And she was like, don't take it personally. He can just get like this. And I was just like, I just wanted to just grab her by the face and just be like, run away. What are you doing? Like, you seem like a nice person. Run away. Like, anyway, so
here's the keys to my car. Just go
to the front. Go the fuck. I'll buy another one. He might pay me one. Money is no option.
All I have to do is let him sing a song.
Yeah. Deal. You've got a deal, sir. But so anyway, this was happening towards the end of the gig, and so then, sorry, to my right, then there was a table of 2 women who were really, really nice, and they were asking for requests. Didn't play all of them, but they were nice and understanding. My dream person at a gig to be playing to is just like, can you do this? No? Oh, that's perfectly acceptable. I will move on now. You know what I mean? That's how to be sound at a gig. But so
I hate when someone goes, can you do that? I go, I don't know it. You don't know it.
Aye.
I fucking
Do you know what I've
hate
started
that.
doing? I've found the perfect answer to it is just, so they'll go like, do you know what's the new one now? Bad Habits or something by Ed Sheeran. They're like, do you know Bad Habits by Ed Sheeran? I'm like, I don't, sorry, no. And they're like, what do you mean you don't know it? And I just go, oh, hey, do you know Somebody's Baby by Jackson Browne? And they're like, what? And I'm like, Somebody's Baby by Jackson Browne. And they're like, I've never heard of that. I'm like, well, now you know how I feel. And it works. The only people that have just been like, fair point, and fuck off.
That's good.
It just diffuses the entire situation. I'm like, that's a song that I love that I can't believe you haven't heard. This is what is happening now.
Yeah.
We both now have 2 songs that we feel the other should listen to. I will take yours on board, but leave. Like, go away. But anyway. So anyway, they were really sound.
The man's a pro.
The girl then was, the girl at the nice people table was asking about 2 songs before the end if she could like take my social media details or whatever, like how to follow me or whatever. And I was like, tell you what, I was like, I have 2 songs left. I was like, when I'm packing up, I'll tell you what, I'll give it to you, or, you know, whatever. And she was like, yeah, no worries. But so then all this stuff with your mom was happening, like also right towards the end. So whenever I finished, the girl like kind of turned around again and was like, can I get that? And I was like, I tell you what, I was like, if you give me 2 seconds, I was like, I need to get this gear down right away, because he seems like a bit of a loose cannon and seems the kind of fella who will definitely grab my microphone, and even though it's not plugged in to anything, and think that it will be and whatever. I was like, if you just let me get it down, I was like, and I'll come and join you for a second, sure, and I'll give you whatever you need. And she was like, right, no worries, grand, thanks. So I did that, clean up really fast, and then I started chatting to the 2 of them. I initially thought they were like mother and daughter because of the age gap, but they worked together or something. But so one of them was telling me that she there was this fella from Manchester that she met in a bar in Belfast, and he was only over for the weekend, but he was like really charming, all this sort of stuff. And so it was like a fucking long way to get there essentially, but she was basically going like, well, do you want to know what we're talking about then? Like, because they kept kind of like alluding to it, and I was like, what are you on about? Like, and so anyway, they ended up telling. So this guy is flown over from Manchester. He was there for a few days. Very charming, whatever. He is, go on.
Are you telling me that the agony aunt part of this story
Is only happening now. Yes, correct.
and has nothing to do with the...
Oh yeah, I couldn't weigh into that shit, man. Holy shit. No, I mean, if I had it done, like, he was definitely like, don't look at her, don't talk to her. Who the fuck are you? Sort of a fella. He would have beat the fucking me. Yeah, but I can understand your
This is
frustration.
an M. Night Shyamalan sort of twist. It wasn't... The story wasn't about these people the entire time.
I'm so sorry.
What a prologue!
I've done it. I've really done it.
I think you need to apologise to the listeners. I feel like you just... Well, it was a great tale, but like, I mean, the whole premise... So I was waiting for a resolution to this big thing, and then it's just over. And now you're introducing some character from Manchester. Somebody's flying in last minute. Not only that, he also got in an anecdote about how to deal with rude customers. Or rude punters, sorry. Wow. Anyway, right, so we're with these two women.
Okay.
They work together. She got chatting to the guy from Manchester.
Do you know what's even more hilarious, by the way? I've just realised. So that took about 10-15 minutes. And I started it by saying, long story short.
Nathan, it took more than 10 minutes, I'll tell you that.
Okay, well, it was
I think we started chatting at about the 20-minute mark.
Oh, well. Fair play to me. Well, look, we need to bank it up. So next episode can be how you got on last week.
Fine.
But so she starts telling me, by the way, she asked me my favourite slash least favourite thing to be asked, which is, what is your star sign?
Why is that your least favourite thing to
Because
ask?
it's absolute nonsense and completely ridiculous, which is what I answered with, which I was just like, I'm not going to pretend that I was like, I'll tell you what it is, but I don't know why you need to know this. I was like, it's just such a ridiculous thing to feel it is important.
I feel the need that I have to weigh in here on behalf of Orla, who has a keen and enjoyable interest in star signs.
I think if you find it interesting and just kind of like to follow it or read things, like, so I used to like reading them in the paper or whatever. I would always find mine and read what it was, but like,
I don't think she would ever.
But if you like live by it,
I don't think she would ever come up to somebody in the pub and say, "What's your star sign?"
Yeah.
Unless she was really steaming.
The reason she asked me was because she was trying to make a point about the kind of fella he was, and she was like saying that he was like, it was a real like classic Libra sort of a point she was making, and she was like, I can't remember why she asked me mine, but she was basically trying to be like, because she was like, you're so different than him. She was like, I can tell, like, you're probably like what are you? You know what I mean? Like, and then I said Capricorn. She was like, oh, obviously. And I was like, right, okay, that's wild to me. But anyway, so she starts telling me about this guy.
You be careful. You'll have the astrologists on her back.
Twitter will be... do you know what? No one listens to this podcast, so I don't know.
You better hope Mercury's not in retrograde right now as well, because that'll just add in a whole element to the mix. Fucking, it'll be a disaster.
It's the last thing we need.
Yeah. I hate when Mercury's in bloody retrograde. It fucking fucks everything.
What does that even mean? What does that mean? Like, do you know what that means?
Do you know what?
I've heard that so many times. Like, not.
We could ring Orla and ask her.
We maybe should. But how would we do that? Is your phone not on the stand?
Phone's right here.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Well, let me get to the end of this. Sorry, because it's nearly there, and it'll not be as impactful if there's been a.
And that means we can always cut it out if Orla doesn't.
Yeah, of course.
She doesn't live up to live up to the billing.
She goes, "Fuck off." I can understand why you're asking me this, but classic answer though. Anyway, sorry. So yes, she begins by describing this guy to me, right? And she's telling me all about him, and she's like, she's not sure because she asked him not to do a thing, and then he did it anyway, and then this sort of stuff was happening anyway. But then she was like, but I'm conflicted because he has sent me flowers twice, and it's only been like a couple of weeks or whatever. And I was like, I don't know, like flowers aren't very expensive. Like I don't know if that really means anything. You know, I was like, I don't know. She was like, what do you think? Like, does that mean? And I was like, I don't fucking know.
Like, at least not a picture of his dick.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, well, I was actually on the wee card, but he got the flower shop to print it off. And then she was like, she was basically airing on. She wanted to tell him to fuck off, but he had said that he had booked a flight already to come and see her.
Right.
And I was like, well, how much is the flight from Manchester to Belfast, like? And she was like, I don't know. And I was like, well, like, let's look it up. It was only like 20 quid. Like, I was like, it's not really a massive gesture. Like, is it? Am I wrong? Is that like... And I was also saying, I was like, look, I don't know anything about this guy. I also don't know anything about you. He might be perfectly well-intentioned. There might be no reason for any of this stuff that he's carrying on, right? But the more and more she was telling me, I was just going like, I was like, where'd you meet him? What bar was it? And she was telling me. I was like, right, okay. I was like, can I guess what he looks like?
Oh, no.
And she was like, yeah, sure. I was like, have you got a picture of him there that you can have ready? And then we can line it up to like how accurate I get this. And she was like, yeah, sure, no worries. I was like, is he about the same height as you? And she was like, maybe like a hair taller. I was like, right, fair enough. I was like, is he going to have like big sunglasses and a kind of a fringe down to here and a zippy up to here? And walk around with a bit of a swagger on him, like. And she was like, have you already seen this? I was like, does he look like he could work as like a Liam Gallagher impersonator by any chance? And she was like, I can't. And literally, it was like a photograph of Liam Gallagher. And I don't know why I was able to do that, but just everything she told me, I was like, he's an Oasis fan. Because he sounds like an asshole.
Okay, hang on.
I fucking knocked it out of the park, man. I knocked it out of the park.
It was unclear. It sounded like you were pitching up for it to be actually Liam Gallagher because you said it was actually Liam Gallagher, which threw me for a second. You really fucking... This story was all over the place, Nathan. There was so much that could have been cut. You really fucking stuck the landing. You said it was actually Liam Gallagher or something to that effect.
It literally looked like Liam Gallagher is what I meant to say, sorry. But it was like an uncanny, like, it was like, of course that's what he looks like. And she was like, how do you know that? I was like, I don't know, just everything you told me about him. And at that point, I don't think I'd even asked if he was a fan of one.
I love the way a coat has become synonymous with a city.
It's the up to the neck thing. Is the distinction though? Yes, yeah. They're like long kind of jackets, aren't they? Sort of a thing. But yeah, I don't know why. Like, but I was just, and she was like, what? Then she was like, so what should I do? I was like, well, if leave him 100%. I was like, save you a lifetime of misery. I was like, I don't know. There's something about like.
Ask, has he got an older brother? By all accounts, he
might be more dead on.
Yeah.
But she also like casually informed me that she has like 10,000 TikTok followers, and I was like, what do you do on TikTok that has you 10,000 followers? And she was like, oh, I just do like wee funny dances. And I was just like, I might just go fuck myself forever. Like, I don't know. I was like, is there a particular style of content that you do or anything? And she was like, no, I just do wee funny dances for about 10 seconds. 10,000 followers. I was like, class.
That means nothing though.
I know.
I mean, like, because you're just like, oh, it's gone. It's
gone.
It's gone.
I know. But she was, do you know what though? It was the first time that I can really remember that I've ever hung around to actually chat to anybody after a gig that I just met at the gig. I'm normally always just like, I'm going to get the fuck out of here. And the only reason I actually did was just to make so that guy wouldn't have come over to me and maybe thought that I was. To be fair,
well, he works it in. There was a reason for it after all.
No. But it was just like that was the only reason I was literally just like, I had
Stop retroactively fixing the canon. Stop retconning your own story. It had nothing to do with the story. No, I'm joking.
But yeah, and but it was like, I was like, I wonder, is that like a lesson to me that I should, not that I often have the time to anyway, I guess, but I actually just had like a really decent night just chatting to strangers, which I would normally run a mile away from, and was just like, maybe I should be a bit more open to people in future. And
I understand why you're not though, as demonstrated by the first half of that story. You become hardened to it, and you have to like
Yeah.
I was just thinking when you were being really firm with that guy. I was like, I was thinking to myself, how would I have handled that situation? I'm like, I wouldn't have got on, but I would have been way more like, I wouldn't have been like, sit the fuck down. I'd be like, mate, would you just leave me a fucking alone? I'm trying to do my goddamn job here. Like, I don't want you to sing, but like, I don't want. Just please, come on, man, please. Don't make this hard for the both of us. Like, I'll pay you to leave.
You can have all my money.
You can have the fee for singing. Just let me get on with it. I don't even like listening to myself.
I actually had a couple of really nice gigs. I started a residency in the Jeggy Nettle. It was a really nice gig. Really enjoyed that. Fucking nice crowd in there on like a Thursday night. That was cool. Since Wednesday, I've had 9 gigs. I've had 9 gigs.
I've went down to 4 days a week now.
You were saying?
Yeah.
How's that going, man?
Just make room for the writing stuff. So I'm writing for the sketch pilot now.
Class.
It's been deadly. It's actually fucking just having a designated
So what,
day.
have you got like a specific day that's extra a week now?
Monday, I'm just taking Mondays now, like, and it's nice. It's because it just...
And you come here, or do you do it at home?
I'm here, home. I was doing a bit of writing with Philly, so I was over at his. It's a lot of fun. I'm excited. I'm really fucking excited.
I can't wait to hear it, man.
Yeah,
have you started recording many of them yet?
I mean, I have the initial pilot that got commissioned.
Yeah.
But now we're doing like...
How does it work? Do you record them as you are... Because you say that like you write...
So the last time we were just kind of roughly... That was during the lockdown, so we were like, let's just go on Zoom. I have an idea. I've written it here, I've sent it to people. Let's record it remotely. And then I would do the sound design after for my ones.
Mm-hmm.
This time we're kind of... Because we have other comedians on board.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they're doing a bit of writing. So they're all kind of contracted in to do writing and performing as well. But
Are they people that you knew beforehand?
people whose work on you,
Yeah.
who I liked, performers that I liked and Philly liked.
Class.
So the way we're doing it now is we're going to submit all these kind of first round of scripts to the producer on Thursday. We'll maybe do a couple more rounds, then we'll settle on what we're going to record and then book everybody in to record. We'll end up doing it remotely.
Cool.
But figure out who's, it'll be
And
like,
do you have
how
the
many
other-
characters does this person do? Right, we'll get them for this day,
Right, okay. But so do you have... Like, what's it like for the person who goes first recording?
What do you mean, like...
So like if we're doing a sketch and
Right.
you have lines and I have lines and we're doing it remotely, like do you put down like the same way like with music? Would you record like a guide essentially?
Well, the last time, like we were kind of just figuring it out how, like, what was easiest to do. So we were all locked down, so we were all doing it over Zoom. So everybody was recording their dialogue room or
While
their
you're on
audio
Zoom?
While they're on Zoom. They
Oh,
were
okay.
recording
That's
their
cool.
audio separately.
Yeah.
And then, so we would just kind of perform it almost like everybody would be half the time they'd be reading off the script, but like
Yeah.
the ones that we were doing with, there's some mighty performers doing it. So get them to record. Maybe do like 3 or 4 takes each a sketch.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of do a wee,
Yeah.
to keep us right. And then I would kind of just pick and choose between the best bits, sometimes cutting and pasting, and then
Yeah.
just build a sketch like that.
Class, man.
It's really
Would
fun.
you ever like to do it all together in the room? You'd obviously have to be spaced
I
out
would
a wee
I would
bit.
love to get all the writers and contributors and everything up, just even for like, or even on Zoom, just to get together, because we haven't done that yet, just as kind
Yeah.
of introduce ourselves, because they've only kind of really seen the brief and heard the pilot,
Aye, right enough. Yeah.
just so they get an idea of what we're trying to go for,
Yeah.
But I think, it's been fun, man. I think it's going to come out really well. I like, see if it doesn't get picked up. I don't actually give a shit. If I say me and Philly, it's really our thing. Like if we make something that we're really happy with, I'll be fucking. I got getting paid for it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's
man.
what I'm.
And would you
aiming for,
still would they still be yours if they didn't pick it up? Could you?
I don't actually know. I'm sure they will be. Like.
Yeah. Well, check that out because
Yeah.
just on the off chance, like it'd be nice if
Oh, the
I
creations
suppose-
and all,
I
like the
suppose
ideas and the characters and all would be whoever.
No, for sure. I just mean like literally the actual sketches. Like once I suppose you've made them,
Yeah.
so I can't imagine why they wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be weird if they had some sort of a fucking hard line on that. I guess.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear them, man. How many people are you talking about dealing with? Like is there
So there's me and Philly. So there's producer,
performers wise and writers wise? I
So
mean,
1, 2, 3, 4.
like people that we'll hear.
Probably about between 8 and 10.
Is that all right?
Maybe
Class.
probably about 8. I need to count. Probably 8 max.
And so, is there ever one that you're all in?
There may be, but I
Yeah.
don't think so. It'll be people playing. So, like,
Do you have in your head like groups of characters that work well together?
I absolutely know. Like me, like there's a guy. I don't want to say his name.
Yeah, no, you
name
don't,
yet
yeah.
because I don't know if it's all official, but. He's a comedian from down south. I tell you what, if you follow me on Instagram, you see me sharing his stuff quite a bit.
I know what you mean.
So
Funny chap.
yeah, me and Philly are big fans of his, and have some characters in mind for him to play. And we're trying to kind of create just rather than just like the producer said a good thing. He's like, if the sketch feels like it could be in any other sketch show, then drop. Even if it's a good idea, make it really unique. So the name of this.
A tough one.
But they're like, so the name of the pilot was Parish is Burning. That was just the name that we gave it. So, and it's all kind of like the idea is it's like this weird radio frequency picked up in the like wastelands of like around the border. It's a landlocked place. It's just kind of, and it's a wee bit kind of like League of Gentlemen or Flann O'Brien's writings and stuff, just kind of a wee bit odd rather than kind of straight up paddy whackery kind of stuff.
Yeah,
you know your Irish when and all that kind of a little bit more, a little bit off kilt, like a busted compass. That's how I described it. Like imagine this is a place that you can only find with a busted compass.
Right.
Do you know? So everything is just a bit off. So
yeah.
Fuck it, I'll just chat about it. Like I was chatting about Fungi the Dolphin to one of my Protestant friends who had never heard of him.
They don't have dolphins in the orange
Everybody
order.
knows Fungi didn't fuck with Protestants. Nobody talks about it though. That's written out of his lore. He was an awful sectarian dolphin, Nathan.
I would love. I bet like Jim Wells has a really strong stance on fucking Fungi the Dolphin, just for some reason.
So we should give a wee brief. Can you give a brief rundown of Fungi the Dolphin?
I mean, I can. I don't think it'll make it. I don't think it'll help. But
To our international listeners, or if you've ever watched Parks and Rec, imagine little Sebastian.
Yes, okay.
But a dolphin, like Fungi the Dolphin. We've bound to have talked. I feel like I've talked about this
like
before.
about a month or so ago.
Yeah. So Fungi is Ireland's little Sebastian for like I think it was like 30 years in Dingo.
He had to have died and been replaced a few times. Like the old goldfish treatment. Like
No, it was always Fungi, man. You just gotta believe. But anyway, like we were chatting about that at the weekend about whole tourism.
the only reason
industry.
he's dead now is because somebody forgot to swap him out. Sorry, carry on.
Swap him out.
Conspiracy.
Don't talk about Fungi like that. And the reasons I said Protestants didn't know who Fungi was is because it's all the way down in Kerry and everybody knows there's not a Protestant to be had in Kerry.
They get fucking hard out of there to fuck.
I can't believe why I started talking about this, but anyway.
I love it.
So I was just like chatting to my mates about that, about how whole tourism industry
It is mad, like.
built up around this dolphin for years and now it's gone.
Yeah.
And then I just started laughing. I was like, wouldn't it be funny if there was a tourism industry built around a dolphin, but in a landlocked county? And
Like they have a bus out.
so like then I was like, right, that made me laugh. So I started reading a few news features about Fungi the Dolphin. And I was like, imagine the same thing has happened, the exact same thing has happened, except it's an inland town, and it's never really explained why there's like a marine animal, why there's a tourist like who has become a local celeb. I changed it to a seal, and I just had this like the one day this seal showed up in a van that was parked behind the chemist, in a van full of water, and there was this seal there and nobody knew where it came from, but it stayed around the town and became a celebrity, and a whole tourism industry built up around it. And then the seal disappears, Right. So I was like, right, that'll work as like a news feature. That'll be I'll hit all the kind of it was 26 years and Colin the seal was a local around. Oh shit. Colin!
Colin!
So I was like, right, that's the way I'll play it, like a kind of, what do you call them? Those type of news features. They're not lighthearted, but it's like
they're always at the end.
Yeah.
It's like the feel good bit. It's like, it's like this is how many people died for about 45 minutes, and then they go, and also fun little tidbit to put a bow on it.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lady here with a really crooked pair of scissors.
Yeah. So I was like, right, I'll write a news feature like that, and that'll give this this performer here would be brilliant for the news performer, and then I can bring in the towns, like, so always trying to think of it as a parish, as a town. Like, I can bring in a couple of characters and them will do that. That'll sound good. And then for fun, I'll maybe bring in a character from a different sketch of somebody. So you're always trying to think of, like, who are the figures in the town, prominent figures. So, like, I think I shared the Sergeant Rafferty sketch in the podcast. So, like, it's like, fuck it, I'll pull him in for a quote, you know, and try and build a wee world. Yeah. To make it, then it's like, it's not just every sketch show. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So there's a through line then through all the sketches, kind of.
Not really. Not really. Just disparately kind of stitched together, and they're only kind of being stitched together as we create the characters and the ideas for the sketches come through. Okay, that's cool. I really like that, man. That sounds really funny. Like, it's good fun. Like, and fucking Philly really makes me laugh. Sometimes Philly just comes up with a really. Like, he just came up with this character. Imagine a guy who really loves the youth club, but he's about to turn 18. And he's not allowed to come to youth club anymore. And I was like, that is I don't know why that is the funniest thing I've ever heard. That's really good. Yeah, I like that. But it's just like, we stupid. I was in a good mood for the last couple of weeks. I was like, I'm kind of getting paid to find things funny for a couple of weeks. Absolutely, man. It's mighty. Like, yeah, no, fucking hell, that's the dream. Like, but certainly, man. I'm kind of speaking a bit more freely about it now, knowing that this is a few weeks down the line. Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. Because, I mean, it'll be fucking a month away, bro. No, well, 3 weeks for this one. Yeah, I mean, we're not, the thing is, the deadline's March, so we'll not be recording until the new year, but yeah, I can't not speak about it. Hopefully by then. I'm so fucking sick of being always coy about shit. I don't think you need to be, man. Yeah. No one listens to this. No one listens to this shit. We didn't even introduce ourselves. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure like about 10 minutes into what I was talking about, they were like, I've heard enough, it's fine. Yeah. No, but like, I think it's cool, man. I don't think you're giving away too much or whatever. Yeah. I wouldn't be worried. Like, but it's cool. The podcast listeners, they're all pretty. Would you like to? Dad Olympics made the pilot that got commissioned. You said that, last week. Yeah. Which is why I kind of was thinking it might be nice to bring the writing prompts back, because even if the prompts, the end product comes so far from the prompts, it's still a really great fucking. Well, funny you mentioned that. Oh. Because I didn't have access to my phone, I printed them off. Now we're approaching an hour here. Is this going to be some delicious content that we should save for next week? No, well, I don't know. We'll see. Can I also just say, it's an outrageous hour to be drinking coffee. It is, and I feel absolutely. I'm bananas. Buzzing. I'm buzzing as well. Yeah. I'm actually gonna. Just even the smell of it's giving me the heebie-jeebies. So let me see. Where are they? Let me see. I'll cut this out. Oh, I forgot to ring Orla. We'll save it for next week. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So. I've got a couple. You ready? Mm-hmm. So explain to me what's happening here. You just kind of went coy and then. No, I printed them off because we don't have the phones. Like, so these are writing prompts. Yeah. But I thought I would print them off. Okay. And then we would just go through them here. Okay. You know what I mean? Let's do it. Okay. So we should get a bit of music here. Can we fade up some jaunty music? There's a couple. This should take us the whole way to the news. So there's a couple. Okay, here's one. You are perfectly safe in your bunker. You have plenty of food and water and even plumbing. The problem is that you are alone and there is a zombie outside. Out of sheer boredom, you teach it to speak, and now it's trying to convince you to let it in. Do you know that's not actually a million miles away from a Swedish vampire film? Isn't it Let the Right One In? Although it's not a zombie, it's a vampire. But I think they have to kind of... Vampires have to be... the shakes. Sorry, I've just realised I'm vibrating. I'm vibrating. So. Fuck no. Don't vampires have to be invited in? That's the thing. Yes. So it's like... It is. And I only know that because Margaret will watch just endless amounts of vampire TV shows. So, question, what way is the zombie asking... How intact are the vocal cords of this zombie? Like, how human is it a recent convert? Yeah, how human is it sounding? Because I think that's a big factor. The more human it's going to sound, the more you're like, well, it does have a point. You know, he sounds like he's changed his ways, and he says he's completely full up. I'll let him in.
Yeah. I suppose in every zombie movie, there's that part
Where somebody gets bitten.
and they're hiding it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you do that? Would you do that?
No.
No.
I'm full.
What would you do if you...
I'm full team, like, that's not you anymore, baseball bat to the head. Whenever I see those people in those movies.
You wouldn't even give me a chance to say goodbye.
Well, no. No.
I did this.
I would wait until you were fully zombie.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't, like, if you just went out there now to, like, make coffee and then you're like, I think the zombie got me. I'd be like, well,
get in here and record content. Like,
this is going to be a great episode. And then just by, like these nights normally go, like the 4th episode, you're just like,
So you have a bunker. You're safe from this zombie.
I need to bring it back.
It's teaching. You out of boredom have taught it to talk.
Do you want to hear it again?
No, and
So you're in a bunker.
Yeah, you've got everything you need.
Everything you need.
But you're alone.
And you're bored and you need to teach it to speak. And you're trying. Sorry, no, it's. Oh, sorry. That's
I've got a name for it.
What is it?
Taming Mr. Zombie. You can kind of put, like, it's good, isn't it?
I just like the bit. I like the bit that now it's.
Hold on, wait. The zombie before he was bitten was here. Got it right. We head up NI screen and fucking, what do you call?
We've already got grant money on.
What do you call board? Fucking the film board down south. And we put a pitch for a zombie comedy movie in Ireland called Taming Eamon, and it's about. And it's about what the premise that you just read out there. We join Cormac Murphy, and he's in a bunker after a zombie apocalypse. We soon find out that he's kind of not alone. His best mate from school has shown up at the door. Eamon, what did I say? Was it Cormac Murphy? Eamon McGahirty. Eamon McGahirty is showing up. Problem is, Eamon's a bloody zombie.
A bloody zombie.
Talk about a double-edged sword. You've got Cormac here. He's lonely as hell, and his best friend showing up. Now, he sees hints of his best friend there, and he thinks, "I'm going to tame.
I could
maybe tame the aim."
Yeah, tame an aim, and for that alone, you have to do that. That's a fucking great idea.
So the whole fun and games section of the film, which is the part that people often say, it's like that's where you deliver on the promise of the premise. It's a lot of if you're doing a comedy movie, that's where all your trailer clips come from, the fun and games section. So it's like answering the question, what if?
Yeah.
So what if your best mate was a zombie
to teach him
and
table tennis or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There would be a whole sequence of that. Then what would happen is he will tame Eamon. So he will finally, by the midpoint of the film, he will have tamed Eamon, and they'll be living pretty happily with each other
until the local townspeople get wind of it.
I was going to say there's a knock at the door. It's Cormac's ex-girlfriend.
Oh!
No, it's Eamon's ex-girlfriend.
That's really good.
And she's like, you need to put him out of his misery.
This is why he does it for a living, and I just go, do you know what would be funny?
I haven't figured it out there, but you could say the townspeople find out. That's a good angle to go with.
I think you've nearly fully fleshed this out. I think it's just waiting to have the T's crossed and the I's dotted.
Here's where there's a wee kind of love triangle happens. So Cormac always fancied, let's call her Sally. No, wait, that's your mum's name. Maggie, that's my mum's name. Let's call her Maggie. Cormac always fancied Maggie when she was going out with Eamon.
Cormac always fancied. Yes, right, following. Gotcha.
Right. And now they broke up, so it should be all good. Right?
Okay.
But he feels conflicted, even though Maggie doesn't, because she thinks, that's not Eamon. She keeps saying, that's not Eamon. Let's get it on. That's not Eamon. You've just trained a zombie to act like Eamon. And then they get it on.
You've trained a zombie to act like Eamon. It's like, yeah, that's what it is.
That's like, if you want to cut that bit into the trailer, you've trained a zombie to act like Eamon. Anyway, so what happens is they all go out for a party one night. No, wait, they stay in for a party. That's very important. They stay in. They get a bit drunk. Eamon doesn't. He doesn't drink. He's a zombie. Cormac and
It just
Maggie,
falls right out his chin.
they sleep together because
For safety.
yeah, but stuff happens. And Eamon who had not just been trained to talk like Eamon, but zombie had learnt to feel. Now he feels jilted. He was like, I learnt to feel, and you both of you still betrayed me. I'm going to bite the fucking both of you.
Oh, and then cliffhanger sequel.
Don't know what happens then if he bites both of them.
Do you know what? I'm going to say this sounds like a really good TV show that you would just cap out at 3 seasons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do it BBC style.
I think I lost the run of it there towards the end, but there's good stuff there to work
Look,
with.
mate, this is first draft. So
Yeah.
You're already the ball's already.
Don't
rolled.
take it or I'll sue.
I didn't-
I'm very litigious.
I didn't think. I honestly didn't think that was going to be the one that you would jump on so much, and I'm glad because it makes me feel like that these are all good ones. Then
I think we could leave it there. To be
No.
honest.
I've printed them off. I'm at least going to read them just so we know what's in the pipeline.
How many is there?
There's 3.
We're over an hour here.
There's 3.
Okay.
There's 3.
Make it snappy.
Okay. You are a lawyer who just got a genie lamp.
Side note: a couple of years ago, I did have a head stagger and said, "Orla, I was like, I want to go back to school and study law." And everybody I told that.
You told me that before.
Yeah.
I think
A lot of people sniggered and said, "What, bird law?"
classic. That would have been my guess too.
Which, fair enough.
They've got you.
Yeah, they've got me there.
What are
Yeah,
you meant to
you know,
say? What are you meant to say? Sorry, you're a lawyer who just got a genie lamp. After planning your words perfectly to maximize all your wishes, you summon the genie. And surprisingly, the genie turns out to be your most feared yet most respected person, your long dead law mentor.
So he has summoned the genie after perfecting.
So he's basically sat and meticulously planned out how to phrase his requests, I guess, or whatever, to the genie, so that like he can wrap it up in legal speak and be like, well, technically,
So what's he looking for? Infinite.
It doesn't say. So you're a lawyer who just got a genie lamp. After planning your words perfectly to maximize all your wishes, you summoned the genie.
Right.
And surprisingly, the genie turns out to be your most feared yet most respected person.
Right, okay.
Your long dead law mentor.
Right, so it's a courtroom drama. It's a big debate. It's
Yes.
a debate. That's what it is. It's a clash of ideals. That's what it is.
Yes.
It's the old versus the new.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Starring Robin Williams. God rest
I
him.
wonder why you thought of that.
Well, because Good Will Hunt. Not a fan of this one, it seems.
No, that's a tough one because
it's maybe a more serious.
I have no knowledge of the law outside of aviation, obviously. Not flying, birds. Yeah, no, that feels like a John Grisham one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the firm and sort of stuff like that.
Or a Ludlum. It's the most fun name to say. Robert Ludlum.
I think, like, what's the genie's motivations, you know? Because the genie there, after being summoned, is there to...
Is it the genie's first time being summoned?
Well, so the genie is being summoned and he's there to kind of do what... He's there to... You know, your wish is my command.
Yeah.
But is it setting it up that he's going to then meticulously contest every wish? And is that where the conflict is, you know?
Maybe he's employed by, Big Genie, and they've basically been like, we're running out of funding here for all these wishes here. We need someone who's really good at like making sure to be like, well, technically you said, like one of those
You're
guys.
only allowed to give away such and such a certain amount of wishes every millennium.
And so
he's hit his quota.
Yes.
So it's in his interest not to grant the wishes.
Yes, yes.
And there's the story. There it is.
Right.
The
Now-
story of Big Genie. A scourge on this earth. The genie lobby has been too powerful for too long, Nathan.
I've always said it. I've always said
We
it.
have always said it.
I have on this podcast.
And
one
if-
thing that is for sure is that we have always said that.
We will fight the genie lobby, but we need your help, so you can donate to
To
our
our
Patreon.
Okay, last one. This is in so this is like almost a kind of a fan fiction one, but it's in your.
So it's in a universe.
It's in a universe. It's in the Arrested Development universe, which I saw and particularly thought you might enjoy, and I want you to read it out.
I don't think I could ever do it justice.
I want you to read it out.
You want me to read it out?
Are you ready? We'll see you next week.